We are live.
What? How'd that
It's
happen?
amazing. It's amazing technology. I can touch myself and it shows up here.
Wow. Look, I see Chauncey and CJ and Romaga and
Shows up here.
wow. Look,
Yeah,
I
turn
see
off your YouTube, please.
I did. Oh, look who else is here. Harry.
Hey, listen, Steve Park, where does surfing come into your scenario about me?
Because you're in Santa Monica. Everybody surfs.
In fact, I'm going to let you know a secret. You don't surf in Santa Monica.
I just saw a story that just before I came on here, I was watching a YouTube short on a news story in Florida where a guy owns a bar and a group of mimes walks in the bar celebrating a bachelor party, and another group comes in and starts assaulting the mimes.
It's all
this shit.
Is this a true story? Is this one of your
It's a true story. Here, I'm going to put the link in here. And
hey,
now the guy.
Jack. What's up, Jack?
Anyways, if you want to see a stupid story about a group of mimes being beat up in a bar,
I'm not gonna be political, but I felt that this story is interesting. Everyone saw that JFK Jr. went for a swim in a creek in Maryland or DC area.
A poo-poo creek.
Right. Well, that there's that whistleblower activist, Rebecca Jones. I vaguely remember she was gone after because she lived in Florida and DeSantis went after her about vaccines or something. So she's kind of turned it into this kind of industry for herself where she went down to the exact spot and took water samples and went back home and tested for all the shit you don't want to be in water. And
one of those things would be RFK Jr.
Well, it had all the shit you don't want in water, but the highest concentrate of shit you don't want in the water was E. coli. Go nice. E. coli.
Making E. coli great again.
The other thing I know about the water,
he's immune because he.
What the one thing I know about the water, or at least the Potomac, is infested with that fish, that invasive fish that someone dumped in there that ruins everything. The snake fish or something like that.
Eco-terrorists.
There you go. Life is wonderful.
I think the mime thing needs
everyone
some discussion.
But doesn't everyone believe mimes should be beat up?
I mean, they should. First off, how do you know? I mean, did they go?
Hey, I want to go to where the mimes are and ask them to go back to their country.
How do they fight back? Think about it. How does a mime?
No one puts mime in a box. It's all. Why is it always Florida?
Was it ever
California?
It used to be. It used to be in your life. You would come across an individual sometimes who said, "I went to clown college," and they learned
I met a few of those people.
College. I think everyone has met someone who went to clown college.
I think Angelo Kelly went to clown college.
I think that was only a part of Angelo.
That's where he learned not. That's actually a little known fact. That's actually where he learned not to pee his bed at night.
We should do this as mimes.
Do you think Art Garfunkel Jr. went to clown college?
Oh, jeez. That's as old as Link, please.
I think we should consider it.
Is it 9 o'clock yet?
But I am trapped in this box.
We should do talking mimes, though. No, you're just not that. Yeah, I'm not believing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and reach out of this box.
That would be cool. Now, if you could, that would be
interesting.
Like they've been putting in cities with the LED displays those kind of optical illusions where people, it looks like they're coming out of that area they're in.
I want some of Angelo Kelly's lutefisk. Can we get that?
How does that related to him? He lives in Ireland, and
I thought it was like
that's like Scandinavian. There's other Scandinavian people here that
I'm glad that we have Patrick here to
Patrick
translate for Angelo.
When's the last time you had lutefisk?
Never.
I never had it.
Is that Swedish or is it another one of those places?
It's from the land of it's from IKEA.
Okay, what is the putrefied fish in the can? That's not lutefisk. Or is
putrefied fish in a can?
There's the other fish that's dried and you have to add water to it.
Anchovies?
No, it's Norwegian. It's Scandinavian, the country. One of those.
Scandinavian. All right. Well,
have you been forced to eat it?
No.
There's a festival in Ballard, Washington.
Harry, do you want to? I do an impression, and it's one of my lesser known impressions. I do a mime eating lutefisk.
That should be on a coffee cup.
I don't know. Well, it isn't. It isn't. I saw it on like the Food Network where one of the guys who eats everything went and had some.
I'm getting burned out on these chef shows. Yes, chef. Yes, chef.
I don't like the cooking competition shows. All the competition shows. Yeah, here's the deal. I used to like the Guy Fieri. He used to go to the mom and pop diners. But if you've ever eaten at one of his restaurants, they're not very good.
There's one 10 minutes from my house. There's one.
Well, when I started,
he went to.
I used to travel all the time testing movies, and he's from Paso Robles or Santa Rosa. So if you went, I used to go to Sacramento a lot, and he had a lot of restaurants there. He had one, Tex Wasabi. That was a combination half barbecue, half sushi. And it was good as it sounds. It was not very good.
Okay.
Then I went, there was one in Vegas that was sort of like a gastropub. That was okay. But he's been opening these chain of like compete with the chicken sandwich craze called Chicken Guy. And I swear to God, it tastes like the chicken comes frozen and they just fry it.
It's funny that he calls it Chicken Guy because in Thailand, Guy is the Thai word for chicken.
Maybe that's why he calls it that. But yeah, his stuff isn't very good.
Yes, there is one across from me.
That's the one I went and tried. And when you get a chicken sandwich, you want a big chicken breast on a bun. His chicken sandwich are two of these patties on a bun, and I don't know. I understand there's a lot of research and development that goes into before you officially open a restaurant. How did it get through all that to the concept?
I'm a Popeye's chicken guy myself. Wouldn't it be ironic if Popeye's chicken was actually cooked in olive oil?
Well, cooking in olive oil would be quite expensive. That chicken sandwich would cost like
Popeye olive oil. Come on.
Okay, could you tell that joke is a mime, Harry?
Hello. Because she's a dog.
Is he doing shtick?
I don't know.
I'll look into it.
Got great hair though.
Bye.
Hey, who are you talking to?
My wife. She wants to know why the dog's barking. Because it's a dog.
Well, wait, hold on. Is your wife in the same house as you right now?
Yeah, but she was asleep, and Rosie woke her up by barking.
Okay,
I agree with CJ.
Okay.
Yeah, crypto.
Hold on. Okay. Out of left field. Why don't you just go buy a record flattener, Roberto? And for the life of me, how many warped records do you have? Seriously. If you have more than 20 warped records, maybe buying warped records is your problem. Like not knowing that, looking at them to see that they're warped.
Can I pretend that I'm Bobby Gass and say, "Get this shit off my face"? Yeah, that's better.
Hold on. Is that a phrase he says a lot?
You don't like it if something pops up and it's over his screen image.
Yeah, the guy. So I've met the guy. He's dead now. The guy who created Popeyes. He from New Orleans. He opened of like a high-end Cajun restaurant chain. I forget his name.
All that means is it's got a door.
My stepmother worked for the senator of Louisiana, and we would meet all these people. And he opened them all over the country. He opened one in DC. It was quite good.
There's Bobby.
What other shit have you had on your face, Bobby Gass? Wait, Roberto, one out of every 20 records you're buying is warped. Like you're getting them in the mail. I would send them back and tell them that they're warped. And I'm a little more. I bought a warped record. I bought this record warped. This is a Scorpio reissue, but an original of this record is a lot of money. And it was completely warped. It didn't seem warped when I bought it, but I would have taken it back. But I put it in the thing and it came out perfectly flat. It sounds great. But as a side note, yesterday, I don't spend a lot of money on records. And in comparison to, maybe if I asked Harry, what's the most amount of money you spent on one record?
Maybe like 1,800.
Yeah, I've never even come close to any of that. So when I say I spent a lot on a record, I don't think I've spent anywhere near over 200 on a record. So when I say I spent money on a record, it's less than that. But this is a hard to find record. That was a Scorpio reissue. This is an original of this record. It's, I think, their fourth record. Very hard to find. And I got it at the low end of what it goes for. But this is kind of spiritual soul jazz. And it's very, very good. Very, very hard to find record. So
there's a reason it's hard to find.
They didn't press a lot of them. That's
and the ones that did press probably didn't sell very well.
No, it didn't. I don't think that label sold. It's a jazz label.
Yeah, and it's small.
I would say about 10% of the records they put out are very in demand. And the ones that I've experienced that are hard to find and cost a lot of money, the music's very good too. That's the side. But
is that Scorpio?
This one is an original. This is a Scorpio. And actually, this sounds pretty good for a Scorpio.
Yeah.
So if anyone doesn't know who Scorpio is,
talking about some jazz records and nobody knows anything about. I don't know.
Jim, can you enlighten people on who Scorpio is?
Scorpio's a reissue company out of New Jersey, and
they're very mobbish, right?
I could tell you one thing. When Record Collector News had their 10-year anniversary, out of nowhere, I got a thing from the guy that runs Scorpio. It was my business card mounted, and it was happy 10th anniversary. It was really, really a sweet thing to do. He made some sort of a thing for me. He had it made. It was very nice. So that's all I can say about Scorpio. Super cool. Very nice.
When are you going to the Chad Fest?
Next Tuesday.
Dad? Is that Tuesday?
Next week is a celebration of Rob.
Oh, is it your birthday week?
Yes.
Which day?
Which I'm not a big birthday celebrating person. So
is it Tuesday?
Monday is my birthday. Monday.
Oh man. All right.
My family, A lot of May birthdays. My niece is the day.
Can I ask how old you're going to be?
Younger than you.
I want everyone who's listening right now.
Hey, hold on. Just to finish Harry's question. If I was a mime, it'd be like Logan's Run. I would have to die. So it would be old for a mime.
Okay.
Yes.
I want everyone to go out, get a copy of this record,
No.
send it to me, and I will present them all unto Rob for his birthday.
How many copies do you have of that?
They're gone. I can't find any more. I only have like 6 or 7.
That's a pretty warped record, though.
You have all the copies.
I have one that's sealed.
Harry's complaining about the jazz he doesn't know, yet he doesn't know about anything post 1988 rock.
Well, let me put this in a way Harry will understand. Harry, if you even try to know a little bit about jazz, when you go out look,
I don't know. Now Mazzy's here talking about this shit too. I don't know.
Harry, if you even try to know a little bit about jazz, when you go out looking for records and through collections, you would probably find records that are hugely valuable.
Hey, I know a little bit about jazz, okay?
All you know about is Bruce Springsteen.
Hey, so what do we knock Dr. Robert about a lot? His desire to go out with a bag full of records and get them autographed.
Right.
I have no desire to do that. Yet yesterday I found 2 records that were autographed.
Yeah.
Wow.
One I believe.
Well, what are they?
So this one I believe is 100% legit. The other one, there's a lot of clues why it's not legit. This is on Oliver Nelson. This is his second album on Prestige. And then this guy,
Turner Overdrive.
Len Winchester, who's a vibe player, used to be a cop, was showing a friend a gun trick and shot and killed himself. Interesting fact. Not even
he was miming.
So on the back here, it's to Wiley and Ella from Oliver Nelson. So I believe this. I believe this is legit. And Oliver Nelson died young too. He died in his early 40s, so he died young. All right. This Mazzy went away because I think your wife's calling him about the dog.
I think so. I think there's something going on there.
All right. So this is interesting for a lot of reasons. I should have made myself big before. So I found this Russian Bill Evans trio record. And it has this on here to whoever, Leonard or Leonard, from me, Evans Bill. That's the first clue where I thought, hey, it's probably not real. I looked it up, and he never signed his name Evans Bill. So that's a clue. But I bought it for the novelty. It's a Russian pressing. Secondly, came out on Riverside. This is technically Impressions. I think the second album he did. And they credit in the bottom here the Japanese company that reissued the album. I don't understand that. Then I was able to locate this on Discogs, which some copies you can put up and sell on Discogs. Some, I guess, they deemed not official. And this was issued in 1985. Bill Evans died in 1980.
Okay.
So
that's a clue right there.
Detective work on this. I have not listened to it yet, so I don't know how it sounds.
Now, I think the reason some of them say unauthorized is whoever puts it up on Discogs. That's one of your options to check. And if you check that, that's where it's going to go.
Yeah, but Russian pressings are notoriously not official.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. I had my first bootleg kicked off of eBay yesterday. I put a Jimi Hendrix bootleg up there, and it was there for about 2 days, and then I got a message saying it was counterfeit.
But I think that also has to do with you putting bootleg in the description.
I did not.
Someone probably complained.
Probably. Well, I think the Hendrix, they're pretty tight on their shit. So,
see, if you want me to sell
stuff there,
if you want me to sell it through my Whatnot auction, Harry, let me know next time.
I wonder if I tried to sell my Bill Evans box.
I don't think
on-
you're supposed to, but it's depending how you describe it, like gray
Yeah.
market or something.
Well, all I can say is it was cool. Whoever tried to pass this off as a real autograph.
Evans Bill.
That sounds like a Russian would say it. Nice to meet you, Evans Bill.
How are Moose and Squirrel?
Hey, so I got a package, Mazzy, that I ordered on Discogs from Silver Platters. So
Wow.
I am a big proponent of streaming a record before you buy it. But I had no intention of buying this record, but I was streaming it. And I'm easily going to say, at least in jazz, the best live performer that I've heard jazz is McCoy Tyner. So I had been
What's up,
streaming
Bill?
this. I've been streaming this record endlessly. It's a comp of live performances he did at Montreux from the early 80s to the mid 2000s. And this is a killer ass record. It's a 2 LP live, but this side D is just stellar. And these are two performances from 2009. I highly recommend getting this record.
Yeah.
Silver, I think it goes for up to 40, but Silver Platters had it for like $25 or something.
I think I'm going to head up to Silver Platters either today or tomorrow.
You should go to. I know I'm interrupting Rob, but I'm responding to you. I went to the Light in the Attic. They're closing. The pop up. It's not really a pop up, but it's a temporary structure in the KEXP gathering space, and all the new
They
stuff's
are?
40% off. It's closing May 30th. They're closing it.
I might have to hit. Where's that
Why?
located?
Well, I think it's people don't go up there to buy records much. Unfortunately, it's got a cafe Vita. It's got it's like a student lounge area at the radio stations there. It's Seattle Center. It's on First, so it's on the opposite side, the Queen Anne side. It's where KEXP is. Go there, have a coffee. It's great. It's right next to Key Arena or Climate Pledge Arena, right next. On
Are they
the
selling like T-shirts and stuff as well?
T-shirts aren't on sale because they
Oh,
can
okay.
just But
They're out of the
I mean, they had Tone Poets already. The ones I already have. They don't have a lot of Tone Poets, but Tone Poets, Blue Note Classics. So a $30 to $40 record is 40% off.
Wow.
Yeah,
I got
but
records. All four records I got.
When we went there, they didn't have a lot of records anyway.
Well, compared to a big store, it's not a lot, but they had. If you like ambient and
Even
experimental and metal and
even
punk,
their own records, it didn't seem like they had a lot of their
they
own
had a
records.
bunch. They had like the Betty Davis records they've done. They distribute these Woma Groove things. I had the other three of them. So it's a $28 record. I got 40% off. This is just a record, the Wire record. It's not just stuff they put out. So this is a $30 record, 40% off. I just don't have a vinyl copy of this.
Did they have anything that I would know?
Probably not. No, they probably have some, but not a lot, Anyway, Joey bought 4 or 5 albums that we showed. So anyway, if there's a lot of stuff from the last 5 to 10 years, even some record store day stuff, the Belly record that just came out on record store day, the stuff that just came out, there's a few extra things. I think I saw the Clarence White, and they're all, I don't know if it'll be left by the time you go there, but every sealed record is 40% off.
What?
But you said their headquarters is no longer in Seattle anymore.
Well, they're not. No, they have an office here, but they're kind of one of the main partners moved to Austin about 8 years ago, and they're opening a store in some sort of music venue with a cafe or bar in Austin. So I think it just wasn't that profitable. I mean, I think it did okay. I've been there and I always buy 2 or 3 records, but it's not a destination I go to for new releases all the time. But
how's that one store that's over in the U District? I've never been there. I think it's just called Seattle Records or something.
Yeah, I've never been there either. Royal Records is good. I like Royal Records in Queen Anne. That's a good store.
Is that the one that has the chocolate in the store?
No. But Royal Records, unfortunately for you, well, they have used stuff. It's not cheap, but it's a good store for new and new. It's a good store. It's on Queen Anne or in Queen Anne area. I love that.
Now, how many Silver Platters? There's the one on First. There's
3.
One in Northgate, right?
There's Bellevue, the one on First, and the one up on north of Seattle. What's that area called?
Yeah, Northgate.
Yeah, near there. Yeah.
Okay, that's the one I want to go to. I've never been to that one.
Yeah, it's okay.
Well, the address. So, Mazzy, the address from this one came from Linwood.
Yeah, Linwood. That's the one he's talking about. Not Northgate. It's Linwood.
Linwood. Okay.
Linwood, yeah.
There used to be one in Tacoma, and they had to shut it down because of shoplifting. Really, true.
Well, you
They
should
said
buy.
the
You should pay
shoplifting
for
was
your
so
record,
bad.
Terry. You should pay for your record, Terry.
Well, you used to be able to go in the store at $20 and walk out with 5 records.
Actually,
now there's cameras everywhere.
Harry's move to shoplift is he kind of walks in like a mime.
Well, yeah.
And
What about Second Avenue Records?
He
Harry?
pretends to open a record.
Don't know
Or
it.
who's
I don't know Second
in
Avenue.
Portland,
Don't know it.
downtown?
No.
Those guys. Remember when there was an encampment in Portland
It's
for
true,
like
James.
months? It was in front of their store.
Yeah,
Really
Kimbo
funny.
knows them all. Kimbo knows them all.
Maybe I should just always refer to these two guys. Should have said Jinx right after each other. They LOL'd.
LOL, Jinx, you owe me a Coke. Bummer about Light in the Attic because they moved a pretty good number of copies of Record Collector News.
They're opening a new warehouse somewhere. I think, Seattle's probably expensive for them to have that kind of stuff now, So, I mean, they're doing fine as a label. I think this was something, it's a local thing. They had an opportunity because KEXP is there. I mean, it's fun to have a record store there. I don't know how many
I
people.
like them as a label. For some reason, they get really interesting.
And they also, not only stuff they put out, they distribute. Like they didn't put out this Ramono series, but they distribute them too. So they distribute a lot of city pop and Japanese stuff, some jazz stuff, but modern
Good
jazz.
label. Good label.
What's the label out of Gig Harbor?
Intervention.
Intervention.
That was on, the guy last night was on Westman. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, he was on Westman last night.
Yeah.
It was good.
Did you watch it?
Some of it.
Does he have anything coming? Because it's hard to get licensing now.
I don't know.
Anybody know what?
I didn't realize he was good friends with Danny Kaye because Danny Kaye was on there too.
Yeah, he's
Right.
He also is a distributor of, was it Audio Quest cables or something? So he has.
I think he does Lyra cartridges too. Maybe.
Is that what it
really
is?
good?
I've met him once. I met him in person once.
Oh well,
very nice
la-di-da. Maybe you should go out on your birthday with him and have a date.
Yeah. Maybe you should marry him.
I understand, Mazzy, you do a great mime impression of him.
Mazzy, did you hear about the big mime blow up at the bar in Florida?
No, I didn't. Tell me, Harry.
A group of mimes. Group of mimes go into a bar for a bachelor party, and they get beat up by another group of people. Why are you picking on mine? Hey, keep it down over there.
Oh my God.
That's why I didn't hear about it.
Hey, Harry, can you do your famous mime peeling a banana? No, that's more the red skeleton.
And that's when you slip on the banana.
That's more the red skeleton one.
Man.
Remember
Never mind.
I think Angelo Kelly's deflecting because I understand on his next international tour, a mime is opening for him.
Yeah. How'd Harry blow the punchline?
I didn't slip on the banana peel.
Oh well.
I got some other. I can show the remainder of the records I got because no one cares.
It's your show. You can do whatever you fucking want.
No one cares about anything I buy.
Yeah, he's showing jazz records again.
This is the one I've never seen. This Robin Kenyatta, who is a avant-garde, free kind of jazzy saxophonist on Muse. That's the label that Catalyst was on. This Coleman Hawkins reissue, OJC reissue.
Very nice.
This is one I've never seen. This is John Abercrombie, who's an awesome jazz guitarist.
I love their clothing.
John Schofield. And I saw a post from John Schofield on social media. I guess it was the anniversary. He lost his son maybe like 20 years ago or something.
Have you got the one he did with Fitch?
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know.
Abercrombie and Fitch or whatever the fuck it's called.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Go back to your mime jokes. Those were better. This is a Japanese pressing. I'll probably put this in the next auction. Sidney Bichette.
It's a $2 record.
Yes, it's not a $2 record. Nice, clean Japanese pressing. And then this Hammett Bluet Soul Note. That's not him, by the way. I don't know who the hell that is.
That's the soul version of this
All
record,
right.
Midnight Crazy.
Yeah. Hey Jim, can you tell all the people? I was with you the other day in a record store. Can you tell all the people what record you bought?
Look at flip back cover.
I bought Stephen Stills?
No. Last week, you got your hands on a minty mono copy.
That's true.
Of Mothers of Invention Freakout. To go with the other 7 copies you already own.
Who could imagine?
Well, here's a weird thing.
The other day, guess what Jim bought? He bought a stereo copy of the same record.
That's right. Because
now he has 8 copies of that record.
My only other stereo was autographed by Ray Collins and Don Preston.
It wasn't autographed by Evans Bill?
No. And I have some very, very screwed up. Here's one for $3.99, man. I mean, this is, and it was because it was a mess. The play's good. Anyway, yeah, I bought 2 more. Look at this one. This, I think, this came out of Frank Zappa's house.
Oh, is that a test pressing?
That's
no,
cool.
It's a regular pressing. It looks like it's been washed in a sink. Look at this label.
Have you put it through your?
It plays fantastic. Look at the label.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a bunch of records last week that look like that.
It plays great. And it does. This came, I believe, from.
Can you go pee your pants tonight?
I don't think I saw the trailer to that movie to show yet.
Which movie?
Mark Maron, a show with Mark Maron and Owen Wilson.
It's like Owen Wilson plays a has-been golfer.
Yeah, I got some more Zappa stuff to talk about if you're interested.
That concept doesn't interest me, but I like the actors. So
the new Superman trailer looks really good.
Yeah, it does. It does.
So those free records I got last week, there was some 45s in there. They're mostly German pressings with picture sleeves.
Ooh, Blackberry.
Are those worth anything?
No, and the records are in nice shape, but the picture sleeves are pretty worn.
At least you have the picture sleeves.
Blinded by the light.
Let loose like a douche.
Yeah, a douche.
I mean, they're free, so I'll keep them. This one's kind of cool.
You should always check those calls out, man.
Oh, I know. I never know.
Yeah.
Look, Angelo's going to like this one, Hiroshima.
We're sorry.
I am so sorry.
Now, those are all German.
All German.
Now, how do you think they got to?
I don't. Probably he was probably in the military, and then this one, I think this is UK. I don't even know who this is.
Oh, Stephen Schnee will know who that is. She was sort of part of that early '80s retro pop rock.
Around the time Rachel Sweet, Rachel Sweet, and
no, Rachel Sweet's American.
I know, but it was around that retro.
No,
thing.
It was part of that.
It was on Stiff Records. She did like BABY. She did
Schnee. Stop talking. We're talking about Maury Wilson.
Schnee. I'm talking about Rachel Sweet.
Well, yeah, you just brought up something from left field.
No, because you were talking about that retro thing in the 80s late
from
70s and the 80s.
From the UK.
Well, Rachel Suit was on a UK label. She was on
Wasn't she on Stiff?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, you know, you when it comes to Stiff, you know about it. Even though
That's right. There's a pill for them.
They have the best. Thank you, Tom or Sean.
You know who came out of that too? I think like Tracy Ullman. It was around like all that kind of.
Well, she did a cover of that.
Shippy-ish.
Yeah,
I'm stuck and I can't get out.
Yeah, there was that
Only
whole.
You were silent.
The girl group.
Hold on, Harry. Harry, I'm calling you to tell you the dog's barking.
Yeah.
God, you guys are crazy in the morning.
Listen, I don't think
we're always crazy any time of day.
Mime bashing never gets old.
Yeah,
mime bashing.
You've lifted your bashing lately. I've noticed in our group thread.
Who has?
Rob.
He's
gotten cruel to me. He's gotten cruel to Dr. Robert.
His best comment to Dr. Robert is, "How the fuck did you ever do surgery on anyone?"
And then there was did you ever leave anything inside a patient?
No, only because, hold on. It's like Dr. Robert was conceived out of the womb 2 weeks ago. Like life experience doesn't allow him to apply anything he's ever learned to something he doesn't know. The man
I told my wife that comment.
Like,
she laughed.
The man got a humming guru, and it allows you to clean every size record, but you have to adjust the set thing.
Yeah, it moves the deals in and out.
No,
so
it comes with a tool that almost looks like a medical instrument. So my whole thought was like, Dr. Robert, it's not like a Martian came down from outer space and handed you some green orb.
It's not like back surgery.
It literally is like back surgery. You insert the tool and you twist it.
Yeah.
And I've never done back surgery.
And there are literally instructions that come with it.
Oh.
I couldn't have handled it either, though. In Dr. Roberts,
my funniest comment that I make myself laugh.
Oh, you got me crying over here.
I make myself laugh, but I'm sorry if I say this. But Harry goes, "Someone should wash your mouth out with soap," and I go, "What fucking kind of?"
Well, that's not funny. That's not funny.
I thought it was funny. Harry did.
Of course, you did. You think everything you say.
Harry
is funny.
thought it was funny.
Yeah, but
I think I wrote for fucking
friends'
sake, and the doc responded with "for fuck's sake."
Angelo,
like he thought maybe I put too many fucks in there accidentally.
Andrew, Angelo, I have this term I call work deja vu. Work deja vu is you don't realize someone doesn't work at your company anymore till 6 months after they're gone.
Yeah. Hey,
well, I mean, Dave, those two guys are like experts. I'm not even in the same category as them when it comes to Zappa.
Yeah, you are. You know a lot about Zappa, and when
just from fandom.
Your
default
middle name. Your default to listen to some of Zappa.
Vincent, what is my son Sawyer's middle name?
Between Mazzy and you for Zappa.
Let me ask you a question. What is my son Sawyer Kaplan's middle name?
Frank.
Cream cheese.
Zappa.
Susie.
Zappa.
I actually got to tell you guys something I thought was hysterical. Okay. So Jim and I go into Atomic Records, which is his local store in Burbank. We go in there, actually twice. We go in there last week, and Jim runs in to I consider is a good friend of his, Bob Donnelly. And you didn't know he'd be in there.
No.
Okay. But the better one was we walk in there, literally all of Jim's family is in there. I'm not even joking. All of them. At least a good 8 or 9 people from his family.
There were 3 of my kids and 2 of my grandkids there.
Right.
Wow.
And
you have as many kids as Dr. Robert ask autographs per album or per
Yeah.
artist.
But hold on, here's the story. The funny thing is, Jim's son lives right down the street within walking distance. But the funniest thing to me is both brothers who own that store were in there, and the looks on their face was like Jim was able to reproduce. Like they had no idea. He had this many people.
Well, they knew that I told them one of my kids is an electrician, and they have terrible electrical problems in that store. And they're like, "Get your son in here." I don't think I want my son near you
they're
guys.
waiting for the electrician or someone like him.
So, which place do you hang out with more? The lingerie shop next door or the gun shop?
I go to the gun shop and ask if they have a glockenspiel set. Do you guys sell glockens? Do you have glockenspiels or just glocks?
I actually the joke I came up with because there's a bra store right next to Atomic.
Oh yeah.
And I said the best record stores have bra stores right next to them because there's another record store that has a bra store right
Pasadena, I think.
Yeah, Pasadena.
Same bra store.
Same chain. It's a chain of bra stores.
The alphabet starts at D, guys. Yeah.
I always like
how do you clean your bras, Rob?
In the Humming Guru.
You ever get any warped ones?
In the Humming Guru, but I'll tell you that tool to adjust the size.
You have to.
I can understand why Dr. Robert is confused.
A and B are never the exact same size, so you have to be able to adjust it.
My favorite thing is,
do they make them with like a B on one side and a C on the other?
Hey, don't they have a sign that says "Come in, we'll give you a fitting"? I always want to walk in and go, "I'm here for my fitting."
The twins are never identical.
If you walked in that store and all of Angelo Kelly's family was there, no one could get in the store. There'd be no room.
I don't know, man. That wasn't. I have a pretty big goddamn family.
Well, they were all in that store.
Many of them. There were still 2 kids missing, 1 grandkid missing.
What were they doing there? Were they looking for Zappa records?
No, they were looking for Jim. That's how they only can find Jim.
That's where the visitation right spot is. That's the only place he's allowed to be alone with him.
Actually, here was me. I went into the store first, and I go, I know that kid from somewhere. And then he comes up and he goes, "Hey, it was Jim's grandson."
Oh, Rob, reach out to Joey if you get a moment, because there was something at Atomic that he's seen there a couple of times that he's sort of interested in. It might be too expensive, but maybe you can get a deal. I don't want to say it. Yeah, I guess I don't want to say it here. So
he can reach out to me. He has my number.
Yeah, well, I think he will, but he just mentioned to me yesterday I said, well, why don't you ask Rob? He goes, yeah, I was thinking about that. So he's going down there in like a week, or he's going next week again to LA.
Dweezil shows are great, Doc.
Well, if he comes next week, I told him to make some time to be free because he's so busy.
He's doing the band shit, the recording and the rehearsal.
I understand. He has a very odd
he'll have time.
I can't ever meet up with him. But Patrick, I think, is going to be here.
Yeah,
next week.
I'm sure he'll have time.
Well, I'm going to do my auction a week from Saturday. So
okay. See, I'm glad you see. That's what you do. You say that just to put. You didn't say, "Is anyone else having an auction?" That's the way to do it, Rob. I'm applauding you.
Fuck all you people who think about having an auction a week.
That's like I said a few weeks ago. I said I'm going to do one Saturday just to kind of make sure no one else, even though I don't do it on the same platform, it overlaps.
I'm going to do one right before Rob.
Well, I got like, I don't know, 40% new people from Whatnot.
Now, Angelo Kelly,
this is mind blowing.
Angelo Kelly, Harry's so good at that. Angelo Kelly, I have a question for you. This is seriously, what do you do when you have a heckler? Because I seem to have a heckler today.
I don't think he's the kind of music that would have hecklers.
Oh, please! I'm almost positive.
I don't know.
Look,
do they have a glockenspiel player in Angelo Kelly's?
If you've spent over 40 years running away from a song you recorded as a youth, you have hecklers. Did you see that thing I sent you, Mazzy? There's a
The record?
Beatles kids book coming out.
You know, I think I just woke up when you sent. Is that this morning?
Yeah, I'll pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, I didn't really look at it. I'll look at it now.
There's a Penguins kids book called
We Are the Beatles.
Yes.
May 6th. That means it's already out.
I don't know.
Right.
Do you know these writers? Brad Metzler?
No.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Did Apple Corps feel, you know what we need to do? We're not doing a good job of indoctrinating kids.
Next year.
Well, these have nothing to do with Apple Corps. These are just some writers writing a book on it. You don't have to ask licensing to write a book on a band.
It's a money grab.
Pardon me?
It's a money grab.
It's a Penguin, so it's not a puny book company.
You know, these kind of books sell, and people like to buy their kids. You know, I remember someone gave me. I had it sealed for years. I don't think I ever played it. A cassette. It was called the Baby White album or something, and had like a white diaper on the cover of the cassette. It's basically children's versions for when my son was born to play of Beatles songs, covers, obviously. I never played it.
Yeah, my favorite on that album is "She Loves You." Wah, wah, wah.
That's good. That's good.
Close your eyes, spread your legs, let me fertilize your eggs.
I don't think that's appropriate.
It was like a grammar school.
Yeah.
No, junior high school or something.
Hey, I'll take ways to get the stream ticket out for 300, Alex.
It's so immature. Any Dead fans here?
Most of us are living.
Well, actually, I got this book.
I have lots of Dead fans. I do some of my best shows.
This isn't really about the Dead, but it's about the guy that used to be the publicist that wrote The Long Strange History of the Dead by Dennis McNally. This is The Last Great Dream, and it's about really the 60s psychedelic stuff in London, in San Francisco, and New York, and how it all started and why it started in these cities. And so I just grabbed. I heard him on a.
So from the point of view of psychedelics.
I'm not sure exactly. I think that's going to be a component, obviously. But you know, he worked with the Dead. He wrote that book with the Dead. I think he was their publicist for a number of years. I met him years ago. He lives in San Francisco or the Bay Area. Yeah, he's been around forever. So this just came out, so I'm looking forward to this. I was thinking of maybe reaching out to have a conversation with him because I know about this shit, but I don't know yet.
I noticed that Amiibo sent an email this morning. I must have deleted it, but they're having a Dead.
This one?
Can I finish talking? They had a Dead listening party. They're having a Dead listening party on May 30th. What's coming out?
I don't know that book.
What's coming out? The Dead. They're having.
They always have something coming.
Well, this year is their 60th anniversary. Okay.
So they're having a Dead listening party at every location on the 30th.
Well, what there's the big box set, which is sold out now, 60 CDs, is coming out in a few weeks.
That's a fake autograph. I'm an expert on that.
Anyway, the Dead and Company, which I've never really followed, are doing 3 days in Golden Gate Park. They just announced last week. I don't know if that's free or you have to pay. They should do it free for the city, or that someone should sponsor it. I don't know if that's the case. And see, the Dead actually started slightly earlier, but they were called the Warlocks. In 1965, they had their first show under the name of the Grateful Dead in Menlo Park, California, at a pizzeria. And that's considered the first Grateful Dead gig at the pizzeria, I think on Santa Cruz Avenue in Menlo Park. So that's why this is the year.
Is that the place you won the Pinewood Derby?
No, but I lived in Menlo Park then. We lived, yeah. I remember that.
In the pizza place.
I came in second in the Pinewood Derby.
Because I used to go up there all the time to test movies. That's how I know Menlo Park.
Yeah, Menlo Park's nice. Now, but of course now it's all, tech money and stuff. And
Tech bro.
And VC capital,
Actually, Mountain View, which is right there, right?
Well, Mountain View is about 20 to 25 minutes south.
Well, that's where I tested the first test screening of
Yeah.
Almost
It's
Famous.
Menlo Park, Woodside, Redwood City, and then
Yeah.
Sunnyvale, Palo Alto, all that stuff.
Yeah. A warped record that you need to flatten.
I still think, Live Dead, but Europe 72 is a great crossover between studio and live because it was
right.
It was fixed in the studio, and and you still have Pigpen.
Okay, that's what they're gonna play.
Okay, that's a sampler of the big 60 CD box.
I lived in San Jose near Throckmorton in Willow Glen.
That's in Marin County?
No, San Jose.
Oh, okay.
I lived there. In Marin, I lived. Oh, Throckmorton, Marin. Yeah, Marin, I lived in Throckmorton near the library. And I lived on another place where we had a view.
Find it here.
Oh, wait. If anyone wants to meet and greet with Vinyl Piper, he's in Mountain View right now.
What the hell are you doing there?
He's holding a sign off the exit from the freeway.
Looking for prog records?
No one cares.
Yes, Ivan, I'm awake.
Cares about New Jersey. I just learned a new thing. The word hello was invented when telephones were invented.
Shut up.
That's the truth. I heard this.
Oh, it must be true. Did you see it on the internet?
I saw a mime told me.
Garcia with
Harry,
Ornette.
Harry, we're due from another wake up call from your wife.
How about Dylan and the Dead? I saw that show.
No, I never saw those.
I heard those were horrible, right?
They were pretty bad.
I saw Dylan once. I saw Dylan once live. He was horrible.
I saw Dylan many times.
I've seen him a lot.
Sometimes horrible.
Sometimes good shows and bad shows.
Yeah. One of the last shows I saw, I was expecting a terrible show, and it was great. It was at the Orange County Fair.
The last show I saw, I walked out and said, never again, and I've never been back.
How long ago was that?
Really?
That was probably 12 years ago.
The Dead? The Dead?
No, Dylan.
Oh, no.
I think he just played a country festival.
Well, I saw him 3 times in the last 15 years. 2 of them were terrible. 1 was great. So
he's
you never
playing
know.
with Willie Nelson at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, 2 guys that are.
That's
I got a show coming up.
Could you give a better excuse than this, Angelo? At least say you're going to drop the kids off at school. Then we know what you mean.
Have you got like one of them really big vans? Just wondering how you're going to get them all.
Is it white?
Does
it say ice cream? Does it say ice cream on the side of it?
He says he's going to pick up the kids from school, not necessarily his kids.
Right. Does it say free candy on the side of the
Ding,
van?
ding, 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 ding.
Ding, 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 ding.
How do you pick them up at school? How old are they?
I think Chauncey won the internet today. Let me highlight his comment.
No, he has 40 kids.
No, I have 40 kids. Oh, he has a plane.
Did you get it from Qatar?
Hey, Harry, how do you know, Harry? How do you know that Angelo Kelly's kids are at a fancy school?
I don't know.
They have a landing strip for his plane.
Right. Oh, right.
That's how Angelo Kelly's so famous. He takes his plane up and he throws flyers like they do in like communist countries to try and get them to switch.
His airplane is the one they use in the movie Airplane.
It's flown by an inflatable pilot, right?
It was a mime blowing it up.
He jumps on the back of a mime doing this.
This is the safety announcement on the plane of mimes.
Man, Harry's you're really bought into this. Listen, Harry, his wife had to fake being asleep because Harry said last night, "Look, I have a whole lot of mime shit. I've been writing this down."
This stream basically has kind of run its course. I think there's not much to talk about, is there?
Yeah, it's true.
There's plenty to talk about.
Can you get enraged and just scream at someone for us, Rob?
You know, the trolls have been silent. Where have they been? Can someone aggravate me? Doesn't take much.
I'm going to talk about. This isn't a troll comment, but a comment. A couple years ago, I did a Pink Floyd, ranking, and it's when you do a ranking, it's always subjective, right? And and someone writes, first of all caps, because I did make a mistake. I used to always, my historic pronunciation is Umaguma, that album. Apparently it's Umaguma. Okay. Give me a break.
I call it Umaguma.
I did too. But anyways, it's supposed to be Umaguma. So the guy writes all caps. I've heard Roger say the title of the album, he said, is Umaguma, not Umaguma. Umaguma, not Umaguma. And he says, and your placement of the wall on your list to me is just ignorant. I don't recommend this channel. You don't know anything about Pink Floyd. That's a subjective thing when you do any kind of list. You know.
How did your ranking compare to Todd's rankings?
I don't think I did a really one-off one. I did a ranking a couple years ago, so I don't remember exactly.
Oh, okay.
But I'm not a big fan of the wall. I like a lot of it, or some of it a lot, and the rest of it I think it's
You know why
overblown.
Mazzy's not a big fan of the wall?
Why?
Because you can't have your pudding before you eat your meat.
That's why.
How about the version they did, the live version they did with all the different people when the wall came down?
Yeah.
Eh?
Those kind of things are interesting, but
Hey.
people love. I'm not saying it's wrong to like the wall. It's just not my. It's kind of like people like.
Joni Mitchell.
I'm being serious, Mazzy.
All right.
The wall is, to me, not stereotypical. That is who Pink Floyd is. The wall, the overproduced, cinematic, kind of just throwing everything in. I think the wall is great.
Yeah, but that's Roger Waters.
It's a very, of course, it's a great album. I don't think
But
that's
I mean,
what they are.
How is the wall dramatically different?
Because Bob Ezrin,
basically,
it's Pink Floyd's disco record. We don't need no.
Okay, that if anyone thinks we don't need an education as a disco song, they should have their eardrums.
It's a slow disco. Think of it. It's an upbeat, dancey song. I'm not saying anything wrong with that, but it is.
I love the music. Roger Waters'
favorite Pink Floyd album.
One at a time, please.
It's Trump's favorite Pink Floyd album.
I don't think Trump knows
The Wall.
Hey, the mimes give it 5 fingers up.
See, I still think my favorite.
Give it 2 fingers up.
The Sid Barrett stuff, of course, is great, but I love that 68 to 72.
I don't understand.
Dark Side. For
people my age, it's like Dark Side of the Moon, like those 5 albums in a row. I'm all for you hating whatever you hate or like is fine. But the wall is not dramatically different than most of that other stuff.
And actually, it's a totally different sound than the rest of the records.
And
Bobby Gass, that song is a disco song. It might not be upbeat disco.
It's not a disco song.
It's a danceable song. How many?
I really, really loved Live at Pompeii, the vinyl. I played it the other night.
I like the music.
To me, that's the best period of Pink Floyd.
Yeah, but again, the stuff on that, even the live stuff, doesn't sound dramatically different.
Well, no, they were more spacey then. They were more spacey.
They were much more polished. Dark Side of the Moon was completely different than everything that came before it, in my opinion.
You know, that period, Pompeii period of Pink Floyd, that's the closest they got to sound. They could be in the same grouping as the Jefferson Airplane, the Grateful Dead, and Quicksilver Live in the late 60s.
Can I speak to someone right now? Mazzy's troll, who capitalized everything. You're right. This guy is garbage.
Yeah, I don't hear the disco beat at all in The Wall.
Yeah,
I don't
another
hear the
brick in the
disco
wall
beat.
has a
Hold
disco
on.
beat. It's not a
It was
fast.
a hit. It was
a
a hit
disco beat.
song. Hold on. It was a hit song, but as
Yeah.
I remember, the way it is on the album is that album
broken
songs
up.
blend. The songs blend into each other. There's
Of
like
course
no
they do.
discernible beginning or end.
But if you listen to it as a separate single, it's a disc. It's
All
right in
right.
the middle of disco.
Can I do a service to everyone? The year 1979. The location, San Francisco Disco. Mazzy went there wearing his silk shirt and his high-rise shoes with a goldfish in it.
No,
Ready
he's wearing roller skates.
He went
I
there to
think,
book.
you know what?
Hold on. Let me
Go
get
on.
my story out because I am an accurate accounting of this. He went there to boogie, and when they weren't playing the Spoonful of Sugar or whatever that band is, they put on the We Don't Need No Education.
It was their only #1 single because it was a disco song in the middle of disco. Not the whole album, okay? I agree with
not
that.
a disco song.
I think
It's a variation of disco.
I think it's way too slow.
Yeah,
be a disco
it's definitely but that made it Pink Floyd. That made it a little
It's
different.
not going.
Okay.
No, it's not going to make people shake their
I
ass.
hold on.
agree with Captain
Klaus
Phoenix.
is here with the voice
Yeah, I
of
agree with
reason.
Captain
I agree with that. I totally
It is.
agree with that.
But you know what? Here what frames my memory because it blends in. The movie, which is great, The
What?
Wall, Pink Floyd, The Wall movie, which gives you a good understanding and visual to Roger Waters' horrible
I'll let him
upbringing
know.
or whatever. That's
My
a
wife
good movie.
says it's not a disco album or a
No.
disco song.
It is not. I think most people don't. I think Mazzy got whacked on the
Case
head
closed.
with a
Case
ball with
closed.
those disco balls.
That's like Blondie.
Rapture.
You know what it is? It's like that's exactly like Blondie for people who don't have hip movement.
Right.
Who-
Blondie
they
did that.
dance like this.
Blondie did that tempo of disco.
Okay.
With,
Do you
with
want me to
Rapture,
help you,
with Rapture.
Mazzy? Do you want me to help you out? A rock
108
band,
beats per minute.
a rock band who sold out for disco. The Rolling Stones. They did a disco album.
Yeah, they
Oh,
did.
yeah.
And so did
Not
Paul
Pink-
McCartney.
not-
And so did
Not
Paul
Pink
McCartney.
Floyd. What's
All-
Paul McCartney's? Hold on. What's Paul McCartney's disco? Record?
Good Night Tonight. Good Night Tonight. He did disco.
Yeah.
He did a couple of-
Is the song coming up on there? Is that what you think?
Zappa
Is
even
it?
that
did
too.
disco.
That too.
I can't stand
Zappa
coming
did
up.
disco.
I don't like
Zappa
Coming
did
Up
a song
either.
called Disco Boy.
Fuck Zappa. He
You know,
he
to
was
me,
never pretend.
The
It
Wall.
always comes around to Zappa.
It does.
Well, he did
He's
disco.
got it all together now with his
Did he
very
do
own
disco
disco
duck
clothes
or no? What's
and a
it?
spoon for up my nose.
I just hold on. I just think by accident, Jazz Bum's Mike wardrobe is disco without him even realizing it is.
Well, that's true.
Is tomorrow the Jazz Bums disco hour?
He's gonna put on his white suit with the black shirt and he's gonna carry 2 cans of paint around with him.
That song is a fucking disco song. Have you heard Rapture by Blondie? It's the same beat. Same beat. That's
Hey,
It's
hold
a
on.
little too slow.
Hold on. I think
Slow.
this is what it. I think I'm gonna say something that might be true. I think Mazzy's take that The Wall's some sort of disco album is gonna ruin his chance of having an effective Patreon on his channel.
I should make a
Oh.
video, a whole video of when Pink Floyd went disco, and just
I-
talk
You
about
get
that.
huge views on that
And
one.
I-
Oh,
Disco,
totally.
that's disco
And I
for
would get a
people
lot
who
of
can't
haters.
dance.
We
And
have
then you could do a whole nother segment on the comments.
Because
Hold
a
on.
lot of those people get it's kind of like prog fans. They get so defensive of Pink Floyd. I love Pink Floyd. I'm one of my favorite bands. But
I think
come
now's
on,
the
admit
time to
it.
bring disco back, people.
Well,
Can I
Updated.
I
make
think they already have.
Can I make a plea to the
You
peanut
can
gallery?
ring my bell.
Harry, shut up.
Ring my bell.
Okay. We have 171 people watching.
Ooh.
Can all of you comment, Mazzy, please make the Pink Floyd disco video?
Why don't you make a poll? Is that song by Pink Floyd disco?
Hold on.
I'll probably lose, but that's okay. You know, to me, well, never mind.
I'm going to do this right now.
Yeah, Grateful Dead did kind of pop, like dancing in the streets, and that wasn't really disco, but it was more,
Touch
Hold
of
on.
Gray's. Come on, that song. Kid can't. Read
Yeah,
at
wait,
17.
Mazzy, do you want
Now,
the
ones he knows
the
are all
poll?
obscene.
Are you just saying Mazzy, the Wall is a disco album,
No,
or just
no,
you
not
know-
the wall. It's just say, what's that? What's the name of the song?
Another brick in the
Say,
wall.
is Another Brick a disco song? That's basically yes or no.
Is it Another Brick in the Wall? Is the song?
You can
right?
just say a brick in the people will know where they're right here. You know.
It's more like a
To me, it's
work
not even a
song.
Pink Floyd album. It's a Roger Waters album.
Yeah, I sort of agree with some of that.
Hold on, I'm doing this right now. Give me a second. I'm doing it the proper
Michael
way.
P. Dawson is Another Brick disco. You're the oh
God,
you can.
All
who
right.
was it that used to show up all the time on Rachel's stream with the
Who?
beard? And God, I can't remember his name.
You mean
All right,
Melody?
the poll's going now, Matt.
No. The one with the glasses. It was
Louis.
Bobby
I loved
Brown
it, Spencer.
was
He had the guitars hanging on the wall behind him.
That's half the VC.
Oh man, who was it? Come on.
yeah, Bobby Brown was a Zappa
In the
slow
gallery.
disco for sure. For sure. I
I
agree with
There is slow disco. People think all disco is fast. It's not. That's the
I missed out on disco. Damn it.
Alex Dickey, that's it. Remember when Alex did his moonwalk?
Oh, that was the best moment of the VC. That was
Some of the best people are just gone. I really enjoyed his stuff.
well, they're
they
always
burn out they just burn out like
The Rev, where's the Rev?
The Rev's still
Yeah,
around.
Yeah, I know, but he should get up on camera once in a while.
I think the Rev might have too much to lose.
Okay, look at read Steve Adore's thing, and he kind of cut this from I don't know Wicca or Wikipedia. Google says Another Brick of the Wall became Pink Floyd's biggest hit thanks to a children's choir and a disco beat suggested by producer Bob Ezrin.
All
Thank
right,
you.
right now, Mazzy, 54 votes, 59% no.
Yeah, do a
Well,
poll.
there are
It's
people that have
already
an
up. You can vote.
Oh, well, geez.
people have an ignorance
Hey,
of
Tell me
music.
Hold
it
on,
was already
hold on,
up.
hold on, Harry. Hey, Harry's wife, can you call him to let him know the poll's live?
Well, then you guys don't. The problem is you guys don't listen to disco. No disco. Not all disco is fast. You just
Yeah.
Bob
It's
Ezrin,
true. I don't know
right.
disco.
the producer,
Harry.
the producer
I
Bob
like a lot of
Ezrin
disco.
literally suggested they do a disco beat on that song.
Hey,
on that mix.
hey,
You know
Mazzy,
what? I
Mazzy.
guarantee you that is a myth. That is such BS.
Mazzy,
Never happened.
I
Fake
dare
Urban
news.
legend.
hold on, shush.
Fake news.
I dare you, Mazzy, to do a video, show 5 disco records from your collection.
Oh, I could do
Oh,
that.
I could easily do that.
Let me hold on a
I
second.
cannot.
don't think
I
I have-
could not.
I mean, I have the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack.
I don't have
Everyone
that.
has it. Everyone has that.
I like Donna Summer. I got a lot of her stuff. I've got Anita Ward.
I
I mean, I've
actually
got a
have
lot of disco.
Really?
Car Wash soundtrack.
I actually have
On
Thank God
purpose?
It's Friday. I have the Thank God It's Friday soundtrack. It was actually a good movie.
I have the song Disco Boy. And that's it.
Okay, I got into a little this thing with Jim in the car the other day.
Uh-oh.
Do a video on that, Mazzy. See what kind of comments you get.
Wikipedia crap. Come on.
Hey, Lavelle.
Wicca Crapapedia.
So everyone's heard of Rick Dees, right? Do people know who Rick Dees is?
Yeah, he
Mhm.
did those
Disco Duck.
Duck.
From my knowledge, Rick Dees was like a DJ in it somewhere in the South, Atlanta or Nashville. He recorded Disco Duck when he was the DJ. It became a huge hit, catapulted him into the national spotlight. Then he moved to LA to become a DJ here. And he recorded a few, like he did the theme to Meatballs, the movie Meatballs. I remember he did.
Was that on TK Records? Do you know?
I do not know.
Sister Disco, yeah.
That's not a disco song.
We're
Sister
real.
Disco? The Who?
It's a
Okay.
bashing disco.
57%
Kind
are
of
saying
disco.
no. So we realize that your audience is ignorant to disco music just because it's Pink Floyd. If you listen to that beat and you didn't know it was Pink Floyd, you'd say it was a disco beat.
Oh yeah, there's a.
It's not a now. Okay, that's a different thing. A typical disco song.
Hold on.
See, wait. Everyone thinks that someone who says a typical disco song is ignorant of disco. Not all disco is the same.
Okay,
not all heavy metal is the same.
Mazzy, I have a good one for you. This is huge. To be a true disco song, the lyrics or any element of lyrics are not the political kind of thing about the Pink Floyd lyrics or that.
That's not totally true.
It's like car washed and
I know, but that's now you're putting your rules on it.
I'm not putting any rules. Every disco song I ever heard does not have intense lyrics.
No, not every song does.
Pink Floyd.
That doesn't matter.
Especially about that kind of.
I will bow to your thing that it's a disco song. If you can name a disco song that is political. Any disco song that was political. Name it. Please, someone help me.
Time's up.
Help Mazzy.
Who's Dr. Robert when we need him?
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. Any disco song that is socially political with its lyrics. Unless it's hard to work at the car wash and they're putting
okay, I got one for you.
What?
Women are doing it for themselves, or what is that one?
That's 80s, man. That's the Weather Girls.
That's the disco?
I don't. That's out of the disco period of time.
That's not disco?
No. Evelyn Champagne King was in the 80s? No? I don't know.
There you go. Favorite political disco song?
Yeah.
People Power by Billy Paul is one, they say. I like Billy Paul. War of the Gods is a killer album.
Yep, that's a kind of psychedelic disco, yeah.
I think that's more metal.
Let's Clean Up the Ghetto by the Philly All-Stars. I'm just reading all these. Power, The Temptations.
All right, everyone, Mazzy's right. Go out and get your disco. Hey, can someone get me the K-Tel disco?
This is the future. I don't know a lot of disco, so
can someone go
Maybe
get me?
That's why it doesn't work for me, is because it does have a disco beat.
Someone get me when Rob's voice is moving. Shut up, please. Can someone get me the K-Tel compilation?
This is political disco.
Hold on. Harry's communicating with morons in the audience, so just pay attention to him.
Let's dance.
Can someone go get me the K-Tel compilation, disco compilation, with another
Rick.
Brick in the Wall on
Thank
it,
you,
part
Rick.
2?
No, it's a different disco song. That's the thing. I think these people who are saying no don't know a lot of disco. They know the cliche. Let's burn all the disco things at a baseball game, all the disco records in 1977 or whatever. I understand that, but there are a lot of different disco subgenres and temp and beats per minute. You know, there's not all the same.
Plus, disco had those cool little basketball shorts you had to wear when you were listening to.
All right, I have one way to set.
Okay.
I have the best
Harry,
way. Hold on.
Hold on. We got to talk about it.
Hold on. Can someone send me a picture of the time that they burned all the disco albums and someone was throwing the wall into that fire?
Well, you know, this makes sense now because when I went into Silver Platters, I couldn't find the wall anywhere. I wasn't looking in disco.
Exactly.
I need to see proof that the wall was thrown into that burning at the baseball game.
Let's Dance. I think Let's Dance is disco.
Yeah.
Here.
Kind of girl. Yeah.
Let's Dance. No, that's the 80s. It's totally not disco. It's out of the disco era.
It's
the
post-disco.
Asylum, Year of the Ear. These are the songs from 77.
Hold on.
Can you read them?
What is this?
Read them. Read the songs.
It's called Year of the Ear.
Okay, read the songs out loud. So,
Where Can We Go? The Kate Brothers. On My Way by the River, Corky Lang. Motocross, Booker T and the MGs. I Want You to Dance by Jelly. Prove It, Television. Bye Bye Babe, Blondie Chaplin.
Hold on. Is this a disco comp? What is it?
No, this is just Asylum, Electra Asylum comp for 1977.
I think Ain't Gonna Pee Pee My Bed No More was like the first disco song.
Women Don't Cry, Blondie Chap, See Me Through, Corky Lang, Marquee Moon Television, No One Like My Baby Joey, Last Tango in Memphis, Booker T and the MGs.
Yeah,
So
but that's not. But
any of
they
that
were
disco?
they were not a disco label. I don't know what you're
Okay.
doing.
So this is the year of disco, man.
Yeah, I
77.
understand from a label that didn't put out disco records. Did
This is
Asylum?
why.
Did Electro
this is-
Asylum put out a disco record?
They
Let me
probably
know.
I
had
can tell
one
you.
or two, but not
Did
real.
people
Well,
actually buy disco records? Did they
Yeah.
just
Lawyers
dance
in
to
Love,
it?
Jackson
12-inch
Brown. Didn't he have
singles.
like a upbeat dance song? Or
They bought
something?
singles.
12-inch singles. I always like those
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
with the extended mix.
I mean, look at Kiss, 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 Yoko, John and Yoko there.
True.
Was that disco too?
All
And,
you're doing is
Walking on Thin
crowbarring
Ice.
songs into
Walk with
disco.
Yoko Ono.
You're crowbarring songs into disco. These are not disco songs.
Walking on Thin Ice surely is.
By who?
Yoko Ono with
Yoko.
John Lennon on guitar.
What do you mean by who?
I've never heard that song before, and I've
Oh
never
my God,
heard
it's a great single.
disco.
I think
It's
there's
a
only one
cassette.
disco song.
He
and
was
everything
holding
else.
the final mix on cassette when he was shot. They just finished the mix of it.
Right. He died in 80. The end of the disco era was what?
No, but disco goes into the 80s. I mean, it wasn't it morphed. It's kind of like post-punk. Punk morphed into post-punk in 79.
Hold on. If I recall correctly, Rapture was about rap music, not disco.
No, but it's a disco beat.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I mean, that's God. You can't even get away with that one. Don't argue with that one, Rob. You're wrong.
Hold on. There's a difference between like club dance music and disco music.
Yeah. I mean, they're so subgenres. So if you're so narrow to think that the Pink Floyd is not anywhere near disco, then I disagree with you. I disagree.
Is it a song with a dance beat? Yes. Is it a disco song?
Within that, and it was made because the top 10 records were danceable and disco related.
Do you think Roger Waters?
Roger Waters.
Do you think Roger Waters wrote a concept album? Right, The Wall. It's a concept album. Do you think during that whole period of time he goes, you know what, we need a disco song?
No, of course that's not. Did you listen to any of this?
His attention.
After Animals was sort of met with tepid response compared to Wish You Were Here and Dark Side. So they brought in an outside producer, Bob Ezrin, who had worked with obviously Alice Cooper, a lot of records. Aerosmith. Did he work with Aerosmith? I forgot now. No, that's Jack Douglas. Whatever. But he suggested one song was pushed, let's add a disco beat to it. And he made it that. It wasn't written by Roger Waters as a disco song. It's like they could have done a separate 12-inch dance mix, and then that would have been different. But they used that on the album, and it ended up working for them.
I have a question.
Disco didn't start in 1970.
75, 76, maybe.
10 more votes, guys, and I'm ending the poll. We'll have 100. That's a good number.
I have a question.
Accurate.
The visual of that song, the video or whatever, when they perform that song live, what is going on? Aren't they actually building a wall?
It's the story. It's the story that Roger wrote.
Yeah,
to me, that song is more like a work song than a dance song.
I saw Roger Waters perform The Wall at the stadium, at the Olympic Stadium here in LA. He didn't bring John Travolta up in his white suit to perform The Wall.
Yeah. It's a work song. They're building.
But he's doing it based on the lyrics. Now, I'm sure it was surprised.
And the visuals that the artist supplied.
Yeah, absolutely.
The lyrics and the visuals the artist gave me. As
and the
opposed
cocaine.
That's based on the story.
Even
I saw that
about shaking their ass.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on. I have
to
clarify something for James Farley. Those are the police. The dogs hunted you down, James Farley. They had a piece of your clothing. They could smell it. They were real dogs. Roger Waters is a regular watcher of this stream. Can you come up here and tell us the true story?
Yeah, was it? No, it was a work song.
God. Okay.
Then
well,
afterwards, you could ball me out for, three of us are Jews.
And
I
I was
like
totally wrong
being in the
about
minority this time. I'm
Rick
fine with
Dees.
being in the minority.
I think Klaus is very adamant about this. I mean, plenty of songs have a dance beat to it. Are you crowbarring them into being disco?
No, but it was the time it was coming out, the intent, the reason Bob Ezrin did that, because that was the stuff that was selling. That was the stuff that certain radio was playing. That was the top charts at the time. And it's the first one. I mean, how come Money didn't go to number one, which is kind of upbeat? But
that was was it 7 years beforehand?
No, that was like 5 years before.
Well, okay.
No, 7. You're right. It was 79 to 73. So 6 years.
The Police were not disco. I'm sorry.
But they had danceable stuff, but they weren't.
Unless Mazzy says it's disco, it was not disco.
I do decree. Oh yeah, madam shit mom feed them shit
All you wops get off the lawn.
This is a mime. I'm miming the Pope, Harry.
So what do we think about the new Pope so far?
Hey, his brother's awesome. His brother's a big Trumpy.
He's a big music
The
person.
Bears.
I know. I did a whole video on his top 10 video.
I heard he doesn't really play.
What's his albums that he liked?
Oh, you watched my video.
I don't watch anybody's videos.
I know.
Is it 9 o'clock yet?
No.
So is Rock the Casbah disco?
No, it came out. That was definitely.
Is that
am I wrong about this? No, am I wrong about Rock the Casbah? It was the Clash kind of making fun of like pop songs.
It doesn't matter. It's a disco beat.
Yeah, that's my point, Harry. That's my point.
Yes, even today, it's disco if it has the beat.
Everything.
Hey, we've got the beat. We've got the beat.
Is it Rix? Is it true that your real name is Rix V. Spinnerstein?
Hey, Rix, have you noticed that in some religions, they like someone until they say something that is not in line with their personal beliefs. So, like, if the Pope, any Pope, says a certain thing that gay marriage is fine or whatever, it's not a different interpretation of the Bible. They don't like it. It's kind of like what's happening, and
it's kind of like what's going on right here when one person says that Pink Floyd is disco.
Floyd is so fucking disco now that I think about it.
I stay by it.
I had Floyd wrong. I thought they were stoner music. No, it was.
I might say the biggest disco band of 1979 and make it a Pink Floyd video.
Can you imagine listening to disco music on LSD?
Hey, everyone.
Yeah.
Here we have someone to blame for disco. It's Harold Melvin in the Blue Notes.
There we
go. Wake up, everybody.
Not Giorgio Moroder, and that wasn't it.
No. But was Teddy Pendergrass in the band then? He's disco.
Where's Stephen Schnee when we need him?
Run to the cupboard and comb your hair.
His new channel where he's doing videos is interesting. Season 2, he calls it.
No, Schnee TV is what he calls it.
Schnee TV. Season 2.
Well, that's the second
average
season.
White band with Picking Up the Pieces or
Cut the Cake.
Donna Summer was a fucking amazing guitar player.
She was?
I've always liked her stuff. All of it, really.
Again, she stars in Thank God It's Friday, and she does a good job acting in it.
She did that whole Love to Love You moaning bit. They had to turn the lights off because she was too embarrassed to do it.
She was very religious.
Yeah.
Did anyone watch that documentary? It was pretty good.
No, I didn't see it.
It's on HBO or new HBO Max, back to Max. That was good.
How much do you spend on different subscriptions for to watch shit?
I share with everyone in my inner circle, so I pay for a couple of them. But
The one I want is Apple TV. I don't have that. They seem like they have a lot of good shows.
So I can tell you this, Harry, as an educator, I get a discount on Apple, which gives me the streaming service in Apple TV.
Do you have CarPlay in your car, Harry?
No.
Okay, that's too bad
You
because
don't?
I got a deal that it's basically Apple Music and Apple TV combined. I think it's
that's what I just said.
Yeah. And so I'm not a streamer usually, but I tell you, since I have CarPlay in my car, now I just will say, hey, play Quickser Messenger service, and it just plays it, so I don't have to load my phone up anymore with music. So I like that form of streaming in the car. I don't use it at home, but I have Apple TV at home. So
if you're in LA and you commute, you're in your car a lot, like I am, and that's how I listen to a lot of my music.
I've seen disco.
Yeah, you spend a lot of time in your car, but you're not really moving.
No.
You're moving very slowly.
Okay, Harry, I'll set you straight. I am moving when a song has a disco beat to it.
Okay, Jim's gonna have to go watch Jim's gonna have to go watch the latest video from the Larry Graves, the Canadian stud muffin, because it just posted a few minutes ago. Frank Zappa's overnight sensation and Blue Oyster Cult's 50th anniversary. So,
okay, nice. Question for you guys: what's the one song that comes on where you automatically turn the volume up, and what's the one song or band that comes on where you just change the station?
Okay,
I mean, it's situational, but I'll tell you the best song to drive your car in, especially if you have a fast car, is that song "Moni Moni." Not "Moni Moni." What is it?
She comes now.
John, the guy who did Feet in Motion guy. What is his name? John something.
There's a lot of songs, Harry, I turn up.
Sounds in it.
There's a lot of songs I turn up. I'll turn off Supertramp if Supertramp comes up.
I love Supertramp.
Turn off
same with Styx. Styx and Supertramp to me are the same band.
Harry, your question is hugely flawed, especially in the time we live in.
Oh, flawed.
Because people aren't listening to stations that randomly play songs. Everyone makes playlists, and you control what you listen to.
The one I turn up every time, and I get it as loud as I can, is Edgar Winter's Frankenstein.
That's a good one.
Well, how often does that fucking come up?
Unless you play it.
Quite a bit. I listen to Sirius XM, so I'm always flipping around different channels.
There's a song that comes up on my thing once in a while. What is it? Politics by Cream.
Oh, that's that political. Politician.
The best dance song ever made is "Bizarre Love Triangle" by New Order. I dare anyone to play that and not have the desire to dance.
I saw the band.
Casbah. I turn up "Rock the Casbah," even though it's
that's a good one.
It's a commercial song.
Bizarre Love Triangle, everyone. Bizarre Love Triangle.
I turn up every Clash song. I think
I couldn't tell you.
And I turn up "Exile on Main Street" by the Stones a lot. And
Radar Love's another good one.
That's a great loud album.
I cannot get into Golden Earring though, other than the stuff you hear on the hit,
Radar Love.
Yeah. And then there's another one. What else did they do?
How about Guns N' Roses? What was the Dylan thing they did?
Don't say, Knocking on Heaven. I hate that, and I hate Live and Let Die.
I got another good one. Mazzy likes the Tubes. The Tubes, Tip of My Tongue. That song kicks ass.
But White Punk's on Dope also, yeah.
The Tubes.
Twilight Zone, yeah. Okay,
Tip of My Tongue. Tubes and Bizarre Love Triangle.
Trouble Carrying. Trouble Carrying.
You guys.
I think I did a video. Okay. I think I did a video on rockers who go disco years ago. And I probably put Pink Floyd on it. I put McCartney, I put the Stones, Bowie.
Are there any good comments on that video that are all caps?
I just thought about it.
This is Mazzy's favorite,
right?
What is that?
I'd like to hear that.
It's the HQ.
I don't.
Come on. I mean, Supertramp is just a poor man's Pink Floyd.
Okay.
Actually, Jim
2
had
years
that
ago.
backyard.
Okay. 2 years ago, I did this video, and it's rock stars going disco. So I have, let's see,
Share the
I
link.
have,
Share the link, Mazzy.
I have the Bee Gees. I have Paul McCartney. I have Ringo.
Anything
I have.
Pink Floyd.
Let me see. I'm looking through it. Hold on. I have Yoko Ono.
Oh no.
I have. Okay, I have David Bowie.
I don't know about Sir Duke.
I have the Rolling Stones. I have Boz Scaggs. I have Warren
What Boz
Zevon.
Scaggs do?
Wait,
just
well, yeah. What
Well,
Boss Scaggs song
Soaked
is
The Duke
Degrees.
is not disco.
There's stuff on Soaked Degrees, definitely.
no, I
Or-
disagree with
no,
that.
Yeah, Warren Zevon, Nighttime at the Switching Yard. I have
The Envoy is definitely disco.
I have Bruce Springsteen.
Dancing in the Dark.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bruce
well,
is disco.
by the way,
I have
poll
the
has
Kinks.
ended. Everyone,
I have ELO. I
the
have
poll-
ELO. I
the
got the
poll
Clash.
has ended. Mazzy, the poll has ended.
Okay. Talking Heads, Blondie,
58% think it's not a disco song.
Frank Zappa. They're wrong. Frank Zappa, Steely Dan, 10cc, Bob Dylan.
What are you
Leonard
reading
Cohen.
off a list of?
No, I'm looking through the video that I made.
It's his wish list
Oh.
on him.
Oh, these are all your disco bands?
Van Morrison, Wavelength.
I love Wavelength.
It's a disco song. You know, I don't think I have.
Zappa's disco song?
I don't think I have Pink Floyd on here. So
What
It's
did you
time to
call
update it.
disco?
yeah, it's 2 years ago. I need to do a new version.
All I'm saying is, Harry
Steve,
asked,
exactly.
Harry-
The disco
Harry asked-
denial is real with this panel
No,
today.
Yeah,
And
Absolutely.
also,
Harry-
there's disco ignorance. There's a lot of disco ignorance.
you know,
among-
Yeah.
interrupting the Rob
Pink,
talking.
we're not talking. We're talking one song, Patrick. One song.
Disco-rance.
Bob
Disco.
Ezrin
Oh, God, it's
told
Patrick
them
here.
we wanted to put a disco beat, and that he put that disco beat on "We Don't Need No Education." That was a #1 single. The rest of Pink
I have
Floyd
a
is not disco.
hold on. I think I've concluded that Mazzy got beat up in the men's room at a disco while the Pink Floyd song was playing. But Harry asked a question earlier, what song do we turn down? And my comment is anything that Harry can play acoustically on his guitar.
Okay, I might make one of my stream of consciousness videos where I just kind of talk about disco and rock, and I argue with myself about it. I think that's what I'm going to do.
Hold on,
Tom
and I'd
Sean-
like to illustrate that right now.
Can we highlight Tom
Yeah, that was
Rashawn's
quick to
comment?
turn it off.
Can we highlight Tom Rashawn's comment?
Can we please
Okay.
move on?
Well, hold on, Tom. You have to introduce a new topic. And man, what I know not to say to get Harry to not play his guitar.
You know,
How about-
Raji,
let's talk about-
that's how I get the big views, doing videos like this.
All right, introduce a new topic, Tom. You seem to be the master of them.
I want
How many
everyone to
times
go out
have you
and look
snuck
at this
into the Rose
record
Bowl?
and send it to me. I'll pay the shipping. I won't pay for the record though. They're worth less, but I need all of them.
All of them ever made?
Trying to corner the market.
God damn.
It's my new business idea. I'm going to corner the market.
Just doing some cleanup here today.
Clean up on aisle.
Someone was getting shock treatments yesterday on the last Tuesday one.
I think it is time to do a disco video.
Tom did give us a new.
All right, let's see how horrible this is. The Who's Magic Bus was neither magic or on a bus.
Well, there's a bus on the American cover of the album. There was a bus on that cover.
You're just jealous because the cover of that album was not designed by you.
and on Live at Leeds, whose mic was not working?
Is it Pete?
Ricky Lee
Right?
Jones.
So my friend wanted to put that in a movie, and when he went to go get it, they had fixed it and put his.
Who's Mike? Who is Mike? Was it Pete?
I don't know whose mic it was.
Well, you just asked a question.
I thought maybe you knew.
Oh no, I don't know offhand. No, I'm just guessing.
So a friend of mine went to go put it in a movie, and they fixed it. So he put it off the record into the movie
because he wanted the mic off.
He wanted that, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'll make one of maybe next week. I'll do something if I think about it. See, you guys inspire me. This is
okay. So let's talk about Prince. He must have done some disco.
Oh, he did. Wait, a lot of dance music, definitely. I mean, he did so much dance music.
Man.
He was, Kiss. No, that's not really it's a dance, not a disco, but yeah.
Well, you know, we're trying here to entertain. So I think it was fairly successful today with Mazzy bringing up the disco nonsense. I would, in a million years, if you held a gun to my head on topics that could help the stream be successful, I would never say the wall.
That wouldn't have been on your bingo card today, Wax.
The mimes is what set it all up. The mimes getting their asses kicked down in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you come up here and add to the magic?
Yeah. Pete.
Why was I muted for so long? Damn it.
Because you're playing guitar.
For like a second.
I'm going to mute myself.
I put myself out there.
Hey,
I put myself out there for
I want to ask
the
Scott
world to see.
Leave the door open so the peacock will walk in.
Can I talk to Scott, DJ Vinyl Vertigo? First, I want to thank you for I want to thank him for attempting a whack-a-mole, but I'm sorry because I busted balls on someone else who's in the audience right now. I don't want to mention any names once because you can't
Happy birthday,
look
Patrick.
at the records. I know you were looking like this. You look like Stevie Wonder because you're pretending you're blind. But when you're pulling for a whack-a-mole, you have to have your records in the frame. So we know you could have had like 5 records there that you wanted to pull. I'm not saying you did, and I'm not calling you a cheater because you're not. Wow. But the whole concept is we have to see the records and pull them from behind.
Hold on. So this faux politeness to you, Scotty, I know this is the easiest way to trigger you to go off on someone. So Scotty, let me know if you want a link so you can come up here and scream at Mazzy.
But I like that he did. I like that he tried it. It's not as easy as people think.
I like that he said it was his first and last.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good video. That's the thing. And actually, Scotty, you knew about almost every record. And the thing is, you don't have to do a deep dive in every record. I certainly don't. So you did a great job, But I just have to bust your balls a little bit there, I did it with Chris way back because him and I had a falling out for a few years on Rachel's because he walks back and pulls it and was looking at the wall, and I'm thinking, he says his eyes were closed. How do we know that?
To Harry's credit, because he's been easily fully bashed here today. The other day we did a whack-a-mole to show how many horrible records Harry actually owns. He did it. Watch another one. Another one. Hold that up, man. That's a shitty record.
Okay, so you're wrong. Whose record label was that originally put out on?
Lee
Hazelwood. Yeah.
Lee Hazelwood, LHI.
You knew it.
I mean, can you?
Yeah, right there. Lee Hazelwood.
All right. Can I say something? I don't get Lee Hazelwood. I don't get him at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Can you explain to me the magic of Lee Hazelwood?
What drives me crazy is there are people in the Hoffman forums that'll start a thread. Help me get into Supertramp or help me get into Pink Floyd. Like, just listen to the music, and if it speaks to you, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. I like Lee Hazelwood.
He was a good songwriter, and he was a good arranger. Hazelwood,
but I totally see him. I totally understand why people don't.
Can you explain to me what kind of level of success did Lee Hazelwood
achieve? Major.
Well, he had success with Nancy Sinatra. That's really
right. But in what regard? Because
songwriter and producer.
Yeah.
and player.
Not as a performer, because
No, his
not
records didn't
necessarily.
sell. No, but he had a label for a while. But he produced and wrote a lot of Nancy Sinatra songs.
I mean, he had no sense of rhythm and tone to his singing.
Sure he did. And lyrical,
Velvet
his
was
lyrical
good,
content was great. He was a great arranger. Some Velvet Morning, yeah. I mean, Boots Are Made for Walking.
And what style was his music?
It's pop, but it came a little kind of rootsy country. In essence, was very rootsy and country.
I mean, and his look was so
he was like a hippie, and then he moved to Sweden. Cowboy in Sweden.
Literally, he looked like a middle-aged man, and he was probably in his 20s.
He had that gravelly voice, and see, Dana, Kimbo, and I agree on something here.
Listen,
Dana, I saw that new Pearl Jam video. It's really good with the cartoon artwork where it keeps moving in and it gets bigger. It's amazing video. Good song too.
Staying on topic, Kimbo, I can tell you. Did Lee Hazelwood ever put out a disco song?
No, he.
Listen, here, I'm going to do my Lee Hazelwood impression. And she was a lady in the woods.
What does a Democrat have to do with Randy Newman? Randy Newman, he gets political, but he writes about the American experience, and he writes about social issues more than anything else.
I look like
and he writes from the point of view of the character of,
Here's my Lee Hazelwood song. I look like I'm 57. But I'm only
Ivan, Lee lived in Sweden for the rest of his life. At the end of his life, he moved to Sweden. He just got up and went. Cowboy in Sweden is a great record.
When did he stop recording?
80s.
But he lived longer, right?
Yeah, he apparently just got up and left. Didn't tell Nancy Sinatra. I'm sure they were an item at one point. I don't know how close, and I don't know the details about that.
Well, I think she said she was pregnant, and then he disappeared.
Yeah, he just got up and moved to Sweden.
So he had a kid with her?
No, I'm just joking.
I don't know about that. I don't know their relationship.
Oh, hold on. I have this thing on my lip. People call a mustache, but I don't. That's my Lee Hazelwood song.
Scotty wants a link.
All right, I'm trying to figure this out. Calm down.
How did you even do surgery on anybody?
Who are you talking to?
Rob.
Rob.
I have, strangely enough, I have removed a few appendixes. Leave me alone. I have a lady's name. That's my Lee Hazelwood song. Yeah, that's one guy I do not get. I cannot understand him.
Who?
Lee Hazelwood.
Oh, Lee Hazelwood. Okay.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
My name is made up after a coffee creamer.
It's another great record is the duet record, the record he did with Anne Margaret. That's a good record too.
Didn't Light in the Attic do reissues of Nancy Sinatra stuff?
Well, first about 10 years ago, they did almost the entire Lee Hazelwood catalog. It did pretty well.
I know there was a box set of Lee Hazelwood too.
That was Light in the Attic too.
Yeah.
Those are all out of print. They sold out. You can get them here and there. I have a couple of them. And then
there's one of them at High Voltage. It's been there for quite a while.
The box?
Yeah.
But I saw that, but that's a CD box.
Oh, is it?
It's standing up above the bins. Yeah. Last time I was there, I saw that and I was tempted, but then it was a CD box, so I didn't want to get it.
Tempted by the fruit of another.
All right. This will either go really well or not.
Hey, guys.
Hello, Scott.
Hey.
Yeah,
Scott, I like this new thing you're doing where you pull a record out randomly and talk about it. I like that.
I always said, Harry,
I
didn't invent random pulls. It was done long before I was around here. I just put a name to it.
Yeah, but I can't do it like you do it. But
you don't have to do it like
came up, I was
you
like,
just have to let us see the records. That's all. You can do it any way you want. You could put a blindfold on. You could wear a white hood. You can do whatever you want. And just
no, I wouldn't recommend a white hood.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun, but I don't think I'll be doing that too often.
You got them. You got everything. I mean, even the one you didn't get, or sort of, but you talked about it. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
It's called the big pivot. If you don't know, you talk about when you got it or how you got it. So there's always something. That's the
Yeah. Hey guys, are you guys familiar with Chuck Prophet?
Oh yeah, I love Chuck's stuff.
He was just here with his cumbia band.
How is
Florida.
that though? That's different than the stuff he did with the band.
It's really good.
Yes.
I think he's going to get a lot of attention with this one.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really good. Yeah, and they slammed Saturday night. They were
He's
incredible.
a really good songwriter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very cool.
So you guys are doing disco today?
No, we're not. We're actually arguing no disco.
So
We
what
were
do you think
arguing
about
about-
Another Brick in the Wall? Is it a disco song? The mix?
No, but they were remixes that were done to make it like EDM, make it dance music. Disco never really went away, so
Here's
it just
one
changed
thing.
names.
One aspect of when Mazzy has a take that I don't like is when he kind of tries very hard to make something that isn't is.
That's like my lawyering. That's my lawyering. Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Your takes are like a take no one ever had in the history of takes. It's like with regards to music, is you're going. I have an argument. The Beatles were the first emo band.
Yeah.
And then you'll come up with some
Waxed.
story.
The concept or the theory of that Pink Floyd song being a disco song didn't come from me. I didn't start that. I mean, that's
It
been
did today.
No, of course not. But you fell for it. You just fell for it.
the producer who literally made the record stated that. So
Fake
come
news.
on.
Really?
The guy that worked on the mix said it was let's add a disco beat to it.
All right, calm down,
okay.
Gary.
All in all, it was just bricks in.
We didn't clear the
If
music.
the mix don't fit, you gotta go quit.
People did dance to it though.
Look, people dance to plenty of songs.
Oh yeah.
But
it got mixed. But it got mixed in dance and dance clubs, not discos, but dance clubs.
Well, let me.
Right.
Scotty is more of an expert than I would ever be. When did the remixing thing begin? When did that really start?
That was happening. I would say
early
like
early 80s. From
early 80s, yeah.
No,
Early
late
80s. There was some
70s.
DJs like Larry Levan, and there was some Chicago DJs and clubs. They started to go into studios and remixing stuff. One of them, Manny Lehman, he's a friend of mine from New York. He's really
Also.
he did a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, and I
Yeah,
mean,
a lot of remixes.
when the rap guys were sampling songs, that to me kind of, I don't know who was really doing that stuff before.
Yeah, I don't think that was happening that much.
That was not part of that. Weren't part of the disco. Okay, because there are certain, like growing up in DC and go-go music was not disco. That was dance, a type of
that
dance.
was dance music. Yeah.
So
it was more funk. That was more funk.
Right, but where's those songs had to be played in dance clubs.
Yeah.
Aren't being accused of being disco. You know what I
Who
mean?
let the dogs out?
So did funk precede disco?
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
And did
Funk
disco
started
come
in the
out of
early
funk?
70s, late 60s, early 70s. James Brown and Sly and Family Stone and all that.
Parliament.
Yeah,
I just wanted
the Bee Gees get credit for really the disco boom, but who was really the first disco act?
Once the Bee Gees came out and became like, kind of like people started taking disco lessons, disco dancing lessons.
Right, it became pop.
They kind of got bastardized, and every celebrity came out with a disco record. It was ridiculous. So it kind of killed the whole genre.
Before Saturday Night Fever, the Bee Gees did it on Main Course, before Saturday Night Fever. That kind of Miami dance stuff.
Sugar Hill Gang.
I mean, there was guys that I went to high school with that hated disco until the Bee Gees came out. until Saturday Night Fever came out, and all of a sudden, all these guys that were into Kiss and all this other stuff, all of a sudden started getting into disco because I think
it's racial.
you can meet girls because you can go to clubs, you can meet girls, and you know
I
all
don't
that kind
think it
of
was
stuff.
racial.
So.
I think it was that the music was good. It was fun.
Yeah, early disco was really good. It got really bad, and that's why it became like. And then of course disco changed its name, and it started to put on other kind of qualities. You know, to get away from that 4/4 thing. They got away from that, got more into the funky stuff, into house music, and now it's gotten bad again with that rave. The rave stuff I think sucks. I think techno's terrible. I don't like that stuff, but you know.
I agree.
Okay,
But I like it when it was more DIY
this,
kind of stuff.
Rick,
You know.
what's the answers? Main Course is one thing going for it than any other pop or rock album never had. Can you guess? I don't know the answer. Do you know that? It wasn't that produced in Miami? Was that in Miami? Because they had a studio in Miami. That's where Eric Clapton did 461 at their studio, I think. 461 Station Boulevard. What did it have? I don't know the answer to that, or what you're asking, Rick. So tell us, please.
Rick, stop being stupid and ask a real question.
No, just tell us the answer. I'm curious. Every single song on Main Course became a top hit. The album became its own greatest hits record. Wow, good. Is that Nights on Broadway on that one? Scott?
I don't. Nights on Broadway. That was late. Wasn't that? That was later though.
Let me see. I'll get.
Yeah.
I thought that was before Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah, it was before Saturday.
But Saturday Night, I mean, they broke other artists as well. I mean, they really made disco mainstream.
Did anyone know the Tavares before?
Tavares?
I knew.
Were they from Florida?
Unless you were into that kind of music, nobody knew. Yeah, the Tramps.
Disco Inferno.
Yep. Yvonne Elliman was even on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Hold on, Ricks. I was not. You have to know the subtlety of my insults. I wasn't making fun of you. I was making fun of Mazzy for grilling you. Come on.
Okay, here are my two favorite disco albums.
I lost words.
These are my two favorite disco albums. Okay.
Hold on.
With
this, yeah. It opens up with Nights on Broadway. It's got Jive Talkin', Window Change, Songbird, Fanny, All This Making Love, Country Lanes, Come On Over, Edge of the Universe, Baby, You Turn Away. Arif Mardin produced it.
Arif Mardin,
Miami, Florida, at Criteria. Yeah, Criteria in Miami.
I see. I like the Children of the World album better.
What year is that, Mazzy?
This is 75.
That was a big album for them, no?
Yeah, but it wasn't. I mean, a couple years later, and then
they became.
That was before Saturday Night Fever, right?
Yeah, this was 2 years before.
But the one after Children of the World to me was the one that was really, really.
What's the one? Is that the one with Tragedy?
No, that's after. That's after.
That's a good record.
Tragedy. That one had the.
Dagger.
The Birds Have Flown or something have flown. Yeah.
It has it crosses over with the soundtrack. It has You Should Be Dancing on it. Has all kinds of stuff like that. It was used a lot in like hi-fi shows because it had really great. The bass lines on those songs were great.
This is like a disco record.
That is not a disco.
The whole disco. I missed the whole.
What's that?
Now.
The Wall is not a disco.
Wall.
The Wall.
That's number one on the disco. That's a disco.
Exactly. We don't need no conversation.
The best disco album, I think, is Donna Summer's Bad Girl.
The bass part.
Bad Girl.
Listen to the bass part, man.
I heard that Donna Summer sings background on that song.
My first kid was born in 1975, and I got stuck with the kids. I was a single dad. So
one of these nights. The Eagles, disco.
Is that a disco?
I don't think so.
They do a song called Disco Killer, don't they? No, Disco.
Maybe for someone as unhip as Mazzy, we could call that disco.
Okay.
That was kind of.
What is the Eagles song that has disco in the title?
The only thing of putting the word hip and Mazzy together in a sentence should be followed surgery.
Where's
We
the
should
doc?
Can I show something?
Yeah.
All right. As long as it's
New
not
record
this-
that just came out that's really good. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this guy from New Orleans, John Cleary.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
No, don't know him.
incredible. He's British, but lives in New Orleans, and he does New Orleans style music. He's incredible keyboard player. He was in the TV show Treme. He did a couple of cameos in that. Amazing. This is an amazing record. It's what's it called? The Bywater Sessions. And he does some of his own stuff, but he also does a lot of traditional New Orleans stuff, like Just Kiss My Baby and Fess of Long Hair Boogaloo. Really good stuff on here. It's kind of traditional, but it's really cool. Just came out. Just came out. It's really good stuff. So if you like New Orleans music, style music, and really good singing and great piano playing and real funky stuff, if you like the meters, that kind of stuff, you'll dig this. John Cleary. That's it.
Here we go.
you haven't-
Okay,
Yeah.
I got
yeah.
to read something. I got to read something here.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know
The
this record?
backstory today. Okay, the headline is producer Bob Ezrin turned this boring Pink Floyd song into the band's only #1 hit. And he says, but at first it was only a 1 minute long. Musically, it was a little boring. It would take producer Bob Ezrin's secret mission and a fair amount of subterfuge to turn this another brick in the wall into a monster anthem it is today. With Roger Waters' prophetic lyrics and David Gilmour's disco guitar riff, it's the tale of one of the most controversial songs ever reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Really? Is it really? Wow.
Okay, now
I
Rob,
I think that's over, hype.
do
but
not.
Can I show a John Cleary record?
It's got a guitar. It's got a
Yeah.
disco guitar riff. That guitar riff is right out of the disco.
Don't
book.
mute me. I'm gonna play us out. I'm gonna play "Brick in the Wall."
Hold on. I don't have clearance for the song for you to play it.
We don't need no.
Well, that's proof.
education.
When Harry sings the song, it's not disco.
All in all, it was just bricks in the wall. See, it's got a little bit of a disco beat. Little
Not
bit.
the
I
way
see
you
it.
sing it.
Okay, Harry. Before David Gilmour recorded his solo, the producer, Bob Ezrin, sent him to visit some nightclubs and listen to the disco music that was popular at the time. Okay? Funny as it's to imagine Gilmour among the groovers, he was inspired enough to return and lay down his solo. So he was sent to disco clubs to listen to disco music.
Well, hold
That's
on.
not unusual. A lot of them did that.
Well, hold on. I think he only
Doesn't
went
make
there.
it disco, Mazzy.
I think he only went there to score some good cocaine and then
That's
do
it.
his solo.
Yeah.
There's some good disco.
But Roger Waters fought it, said, we don't do singles. So he didn't like the idea, but he went along with it and it became a hit. So
By then they were just they'd sold out.
Well, the Stones did that for some girls. Prior to some
Right.
girls, they were going out to clubs and stuff, and that's how they got a lot of those riffs and
Miss
stuff.
You
so.
was disco.
You
So here's a
couldn't
John-
write some
here's a
girls
John
today.
Cleary record. Nouveau Records.
Yeah, I know.
Do you know
Yeah.
this? Okay.
I haven't seen that one. No.
Nouville Records, they had a whole series. It's fucking unbelievable.
Yeah.
There's who else is involved? Where did I put that stuff? Oh, here it is. There's Elias Marsalis. I think it's the last thing he did.
hmm
And then little Freddie King.
Freddie
and,
King.
Irma Thomas. These all came out in 2020.
Cool.
Really
Irma
good
Thomas
stuff.
has a new record with Galactic.
Huh.
She collaborated with Galactic. Just came out.
She's a singer, man.
Yeah. That's good stuff.
We don't have enough good Irmas.
I was in New Orleans like
Bombeck.
100 years ago, and some guy turned me on to a artist by the name of Beau Jacques, Cajun guy, accordion player, had about a 10-year career. He died after 10 years. Unbelievable. There's no vinyl really. There's a bunch of CDs. Crazy good stuff. Beau
Miss you
Jacques.
too, Amundsen.
I think I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
There's a documentary called King of the Zydeco, where it's kind of like between him and what was the old guy who went to sell insurance and then came back?
Oh,
blanking on his name.
yeah, I know you're talking.
But anyways, very good stuff. Beautiful
King of
records
Zydeco,
from Newville.
Okay,
Yeah, I love
we've
New
hit
Orleans music.
we have hit our 9 o'clock. Does anyone want to leave by
God.
anything?
It's been a painful 2 hours.
You,
I hope I educated people on what disco music really is.
you know,
Because I'm the maven of disco.
I would take Harry's comment that this has been a painful 2 hours, but he said the same thing after he had his, his last where they go up your butt with the camera.
That was a fun conversation, though. I will argue my point, and
Massey's right, but
I appreciate people who disagree with me, and they're right in their opinion.
I mean, it's a good topic discussion because there's so many different ways to attack it. It's
just that there is evidence out there that the producer had that in mind. Now, whether he was successful at it, it was successful as a hit. So
it was successful.
I'll give you credit on that one.
Coming out in the disco era, and a band changes a mix of a song or a recording of a song, and it becomes within that subgenre.
Look, at that time, I don't know how many disco fans, if there truly were disco fans, that went out and bought The Wall. And if they did do that, they were going to be severely disappointed.
No, but we know how big. I mean, there was a bunch of new. The Wall created a lot of newer Pink Floyd fans.
Right. But anyone who went into a store to buy The Wall and didn't realize they were a rock band,
that would have been different.
They were really disappointed.
Yeah, it's an bloated, overproduced album,
like the hit single.
But I'm sure that there was a 12-inch single. There had to be a 12-inch single on that one.
Yeah, but anyone who bought 12-inch singles at that time are stupid.
No,
I bought them. I used to buy them.
I used to get 12-inch promo singles all the time from the labels in the
let me tell you this.
Remember Michael Zambello's Maniac? That was a good 12-inch single.
It was released not at their disco time. All I'm saying is right now, people who bought 12-inch singles, they're not around now to collect. They're all either they were trashed or they didn't buy a lot of them. They bought the 45.
Some of them are really expensive though.
Yeah,
Strawberry Letter 23 12-inch single.
Yeah,
everyone bought the 45s, right? Am I wrong about that?
I don't know if this is official. I don't remember this, so I don't know if it's a bootleg or official. Looks real.
Yeah, I don't remember that either.
$400.
Yeah.
How were people buying like disco versions of records? They were buying the 45s. Am I wrong about that?
No, but
they were buying 12-inch singles. 12-inch singles were really popular.
I know in the 80s they became very popular.
Late 70s we had
not in the 70s, yeah.
Late 70s we had a 12-inch 45 section.
I was lucky to have two 6-inch.
I bet you were in San Francisco.
They were always looking for 12 inches back then, right?
I've got 8 or 10 different U2 12-inch singles.
You know one of the best sounding.
Okay, listen, you idiot. It's the 80s. I get it. The 80s. I'm not talking about. I'm talking.
But it started in the 70s. The label started.
It was the 80s. The 80s is when they get really popular.
1977, Warner Brothers puts out a 12-inch single. It was a promo, though, granted, of "Go Your Own Way" and "Silver Springs" by Fleetwood Mac from Rumors.
Okay, you idiot. Those
That
aren't
was-
disco songs.
That
No,
wasn't.
but-
that wasn't like. Yeah.
That
That
was
They
wasn't a
weren't
club
playing
thing.
those
Yeah.
songs in dance
Yeah.
clubs.
Yeah, they would service the dance clubs with 12-inch singles that weren't for sale.
You know what was a really big 12-inch single? It was New Order's Blue Monday.
Yes,
That one was
That
13
was
inches.
insane.
and Joy
Scotty,
Division's "Love Will Tear Us Apart" was a big
Scotty,
12-inch single.
Scotty, Bizarre
Yeah.
Love Triangle is better than Blue Monday.
Was that
That's all.
1980?
Oh,
Was
I
Love-
agree. I totally agree. But I
Was
also like,
Love-
I like a lot of their other songs better than Blue Monday. But at the time, Blue Monday was that
No,
blew
Blue
everybody
Monday's
away in the clubs.
It's a good song. But Bizarre
Mhm.
Love Triangle is like 20 minutes long. It's awesome. Has a good
I also like
hook in
True
it.
Faith. I like True Faith also too.
True Faith is good too.
The
But
point
it's
was
not-
to get people dancing and keep them there. So they did the
Mhm.
extended
Wasn't
mixes to
Love,
keep people
Love
out
Will
there.
Tear Us Apart 1980? Was that 1980 with Joy Division?
But then you had to get them to
I think
drink,
so.
right? Drinking was a big part of it. You had to get them to buy more booze.
More cocaine.
The clubs, the club was selling booze. Other people were.
Well,
right.
it depends.
Is the reason
So the club
okay?
was saying,
I want to end the stream on this.
Of course, why not?
Is the reason the 12-inch disco record is worth a lot of money is because they were not available to the public, or they were all trashed,
Trash.
or
Yeah.
There were both. There were some that were like Warren
I don't-
Zevon's "Werewolves of London" and "Night
if you're
Train."
dealing with, let's say you're a 15 to 25-year-old during the disco days.
Mhm.
You were trained growing up to buy 45s as singles,
Mhm.
weren't you? Am I wrong about that?
If that young, you were buying albums or singles. You were buying singles, yeah, and then 12.
Right.
Yeah.
You were buying, if you wanted a single of a record, you were buying the 7-inch version of it,
Right.
not a 12-inch.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That's my understanding of it. Because you know why I go out enough digging? I really don't come across 12-inch singles from the 70s. I don't.
There are,
No.
From the 80s, all the time. All the
Yeah.
time.
you know, if
Yeah,
you
I
go to
brought
you're right on that.
Rockwell.
a
Somebody's
big record
rocking
show,
12-inch
at a big
single.
record show, there's always some guy that is selling 12-inch singles. You know, there's
From
like
the 70s. From the 70s?
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
well, all
Really?
from every period. It doesn't just
No,
stop at the 70s.
All right.
right.
Well, I thank everyone for coming. Enjoy the
Hey,
rest of your day and your weekend.
If you guys like to stream, my show's on today from 3 to 6 Eastern Standard Time on WMNF 88.5 FM. So you can.
share
check
the
it out.
link before I end the
Really?
stream.
Oh, I don't have it ready. That's all right.
Man, you're horrible at promoting yourself.
I'll do it next time.
All right. Everyone have a nice day. Take care.
Ciao,
All
everybody.
right, guys. Bye bye. Thanks.
See ya.
No